Hi, I'm Jeff Banks and welcome to Retail Insight for the Spring Fair. Today, I'm fortunate to be joined by Nick Ronald, who has started a business just before the pandemic called Casa Verde. We're going to be catching up on that, on this, the 75th anniversary of the Spring Fair, which is still one of the biggest trade exhibitions that exist in Great Britain. So we're going to find out a little bit more about Casa Verde and find out a little bit more about the Spring Fair. Nick, welcome.
Hi.
So just tell me a little bit, how did Casa Verde get going?
Well, by default, really. I didn't really plan on reinventing myself at such a late stage of my career. But I've been in this business 37 years. We've been wholesalers for 24 years. And our
wholesaling what?
We wholesale products for the home and garden, essentially. Our consultancy work we heard through the grapevine was coming to an end. So we had 6 months to suddenly hop on a plane and suddenly reinvent ourselves and create Casa Verde. Best thing I ever did. I live in Mallorca, so this is a botanical-based product, but we have a hint of the Mediterranean. We design almost all of it now. So the world has changed and it's bliss. Yeah, I'm very, very, very lucky person.
So the design influence for the products you're making, I'll get onto the products in a minute, is actually based on what? Rural experience from Mallorca, rural experience from the south of France, from Spain?
Yeah, all of it really, around the Mediterranean basin. We've just designed a collection called Basque Country.
Yeah.
We spent a few days up in the north and it was, as you say, very rural, very alpine. And that inspired some new products along those lines.
And those products are what? How does that translate into products?
So as far as Basque Country is concerned, it's a range of very rustic glass. I saw an old glass vase and I was able to remodel it into 10 different shapes and pieces, and then a collection of drinking glasses, all using very thick, bubbly glass, but very Basque and very rustic.
Made in Spain, or do you have to go to the Far East now?
No, we use our artisans in India.
Yeah.
It would be a joy to have things made in Mallorca, for example, but they would be £100 each before everything, because it's just not commercially possible right now.
And how important to you was Spring Fair to get Casa Verde off the ground?
Key. For me, trade fairs are the lifeblood of our industry for two reasons. One, we're a very personable company, and I really believe in, we're blessed with the most incredible customers. We have about 1,000 customers, trade customers, and they're all a joy. And it's so important to meet them face to face. And the second thing is Spring Fair is really the only place you're going to meet new customers. And if we're to grow, we have to, show the goods and be there. I mean, it's incredibly hard work. But we go home as high as a kite because, touch wood, it normally works rather well. So.
And are you as high as a kite when you go into the exhibition of a morning? Is it exciting for you?
Yes, I think nervous because there's always, as we know in Britain today, there's always outside influences that kind of affect your daily life.
Yeah.
And it's just a degree on how bad is it, But no, I mean, we look forward to it. It's very exciting.
How much preparation do you have to do to exhibit at Spring Fair? Planning the stand, planning the product, communication, how much effort do you put in?
Weeks and months, I would say. Because of my age, I finally designed a stand that's on wheels. I dreamed of having a stand that I could wheel in, but it's a greenhouse. Yeah. So it looks like an old greenhouse. And it comes in meter by meter and we just wheel it in, push the brake. I say we and I say just. It's not quite that easy because there's the lighting, but it looks like an old greenhouse and it's on wheels. So, and you store all your products in the cupboards. So, I've learned how to make it as painless as possible.
How about development of the product? How far in advance does that happen?
About 6 months to a year. I'm getting better. It's a bit like the fashion industry, you work so far ahead. But getting my head around that was quite difficult, but we are much better.
So now, as Casa Verde, you're fairly newcomers to Spring Fair, but in your previous guise, were you exhibiting there before?
Yes. I was saying earlier, actually, I think this is probably my 50th either Spring Fair or Autumn Fair. I think.
I think you're up for a gold medal, aren't you?
Well, I'm looking forward to it, yes. But I think it's about the 50th.
Can you remember back to the very first days that you started? What was it like then? Much smaller?
No, much, much bigger, because
Really?
of course the pandemic kind of ruined everything for a little while. No, in those days, if you're a newcomer, you were always put in hall 4, and it could be in a very random location. So that's how, and you had to wait to get in. There was such demand to get in. I mean, it was a real powerhouse. The turning point for me was when we were invited to move into the summer house, because the summer house in those days was the very essence of the show. And it was the hall where most customers would go first, just to get a lie of the land. And so that was a turning point. You know, we kind of made it by that point.
Crystal ball gazing, where do you see homeware developing in the next 25 years? Where's it going to be by the 100th fair? And what will you be doing then?
Yes, well, that's a very difficult question for two reasons. One, I can hardly work out what's happening in the next week for the reasons I just said. But two, I'll be probably too old if I'm here at all. So
come on, Nick.
Well, I'll be 90 something. So
not unrealistic. Living in Mallorca. All that
no, but I'll be on a Zimmer
oil.
frame. Let's be obvious, you know, real.
But you've got your exhibition stand on wheels. So
yes, I'll be on wheels. I'm hoping, these are grander views, I'm hoping that, and I don't want to be political, but I hope we're part of the European Union by then. I hope that there's a lot more love in the world and we get out of this phase of where we're going right now. As for products, I honestly don't. I want the small independent to survive. So I hope it doesn't go into the mega centers. And I'm thinking it probably won't. With luck, it won't, because it's a people industry and people like small businesses and the high street.
But what are people's homes going to be like 25 years from now that will actually want the kind of product that you're creating and developing?
I don't think we're all going to go uber modern. Dreadful term, but country style, for example, has been with us for years and years and years in various names and in various guises. I don't personally think that's going to change too much, because people always look to the past. They have a romantic view. So I don't think I'm hoping it won't change that much. I don't know.
If you had to sum up the Spring Fair in one word, what would it be?
Spring Fair is the lifeblood of our industry.
That's too many words.
Oh.
One word.
Oh, lifeblood then.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed.